What could Trump's return to the White House mean for the nation's entrepreneurs and small business owners? In this video, I'll share some important predictions and break down what his presidency could mean for you. Whether you're an entrepreneur just starting out, a small business owner, or a business generating millions in revenue, there are nearly 40 million small businesses in the US, and it's likely another 10 million will be created over the next 4 years. So what could change? How will Trump's policies impact our small business landscape? First, let's talk about the federal small business programs, grants, loans, and specifically the SBA. Under Trump's previous administration, there was a major focus on deregulation, tax cuts, and stimulus packages aimed at keeping businesses afloat. So what can we expect this time? It's likely Trump will appoint a new SBA administrator, someone aligned with his business-first approach, and we could see a renewed focus on lending through traditional banks, potentially placing less emphasis on SBA-backed loans. Trump has been a proponent of working closely with big banks, so it's very possible he'll encourage less reliance on federal programs and more on private lending. A big talking point in Trump's campaign, especially with Elon's support over the past few months, has been to drastically reduce government spending, which I believe is around 35% of the national GDP, and the debt servicing alone is projected to be $1 trillion this year. Federal spending alone is projected to be approximately 24% of the GDP this year. Those numbers highlight the significant portion of the US economy dedicated to servicing national debt and overall government expenditures. So this further supports the idea and this prediction that there will be a new SBA approach, pushing entrepreneurs to have less reliance on federal programs. Now, what about grants and EIDL forgiveness? Two hot topics here. Well, Trump isn't known for prioritizing direct grants to small businesses. There's a chance he'll support some targeted grant programs, especially for sectors hard hit by inflation or supply chain disruptions. So especially for smaller business owners that could use small grants to help them out here or there, something that of course we do regularly on Skip. If you want access to dozens of grants, including our Skip $1,000 or $10,000 grants, which we do, we give out around 30 or 40 grants every single month. You can always see those for free on the Skip app or go to helloskip.com. And the good news there, besides our grants, there are other corporate grants that are picking up the slack. So even if the federal government decides to do less grant programs, there are other options out there. Now, EIDL forgiveness. 4 million COVID EIDL loans were distributed as part of the relief effort. EIDL forgiveness is less certain for any administration, but Trump specifically has pushed for repayment over forgiveness. He may introduce new deferment or restructuring options, something that we've seen over the past 4 years, but personally, I don't think there will be many changes on the EIDL front. Now let's talk about new entrepreneurs. If you're just starting out, what changes could a Trump presidency mean for you? Well, there are a few potential positives here, especially if he continues his previous approach of lowering startup costs through tax incentives and deregulation. Under Trump, we could see a rollback of regulatory requirements that often make it costly and time-consuming to start a new business. Less paperwork and fewer requirements could mean a faster process, cheaper path to officially launching your business, whether it's an LLC, corporation, or even a gig-based operation. If you're going to choose the LLC path, we can help you create an LLC for free. Just use the link in the description. You can get an LLC within a few days. So you can get that out of the way. Another thing for new entrepreneurs is that we may see a further simplification of tax filings for small businesses. Trump has previously championed simplified tax brackets and deductions, and if this trend continues, it could mean keeping more cash in your pocket to reinvest in growing your business. While it's hard to say exactly how taxes will change, that's been the theme, and we can likely expect measures that will appeal to new and emerging entrepreneurs. Again, the theme here potentially being less government spending to reduce those costs, and at the same time taking less taxes in. We'll see what in practice actually is possible and what happens, but that has been one of the main themes Trump campaigned on and did under his previous administration. So what about those of you operating a business that's already scaling up? Maybe you're generating millions in revenue. What could a new Trump administration mean for your growth? This is where tax policies and reforms come into play. Trump has consistently favored corporate tax cuts, so we may see a renewed push to lower taxes for businesses, especially corporations. If your business is structured as a C Corp, this could be significant, putting more money in your budget for hiring, expansion, or other big moves. But with Trump's America First trade policies, tariffs are likely to come back into the picture. If your business relies on importing goods, particularly from countries like China, you may see higher costs as tariffs are imposed. On the flip side, businesses focused on domestic production may find themselves more competitive in the US market. So what does all this mean in the big picture for the 40 million small businesses? Trump's policies are likely to prioritize lower taxes and less regulation, which can benefit many small business owners. However, the trade-offs will depend on your industry, your business's stage, and whether you rely on federal programs or international suppliers. I believe we'll see a supportive environment for businesses that can benefit from lower taxes and fewer regulations. But if you're dependent on federal grants and foreign suppliers, it's essential to keep a close eye on any shifts in policy and prepare to adapt. Do you think some of these will affect you? Let me know in the comments. And of course, the good news is there are always private companies working hard to make things easier for you, whether it comes to grants, starting a business, scaling a business, things that we do here at Skip. There are options out there outside of what policies the federal government decides on, agrees on, or passes. So keep that in mind. Go download the free Skip app if you haven't yet. Thanks so much for subscribing, turning on alerts so you never miss out on anything funding or business related. The key here is to stay informed and proactive. I'll be tracking these developments closely. So if you are subscribed, you'll be able to stay updated on the presidency, how this could impact your business, and get actionable advice on how to navigate changes. Thanks for watching. Most importantly, stay well, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.